have next? James La Quardia. And again, my apologies. Yeah, I probably can't say that either if I read it. And then Linda DiMorale, and then Marissa Ringel, and then Paul Greenan. Thank you, sir. Did you submit written testimony?
I did.
Thank you.
I'm going to try and get everything in within 3 minutes. I'm what I guess everyone refers to as a newbie. I was served less than a year ago. I haven't seen my daughter in 6 months and my son in 4 months. I was their primary caregiver for the first 11 and a half and 8.5 years of their lives. They're now 12 and 9. I missed both their birthdays. Wasn't allowed to see them on their birthdays. I'm going to skip to the last paragraph of the thing first as to why I think a GAL should not be an attorney. One day in court, in front of my own eyes, I saw the GAL on my case was arguing the case before me, the case before me. She was arguing for equal visitation for the father of a child who was never married, never lived with the child, never lived with the mother, equal visitation for that child on all holidays. Okay? I stepped up 5 minutes later. She took her stuff, moved 5 feet to the right, and all of a sudden, a father who was there for 11 and a half and 8.5 years, she started arguing that I should have no visitation with my children. Strictly based on the word of their mother and the word of the therapist for the children, who we came to find out was allowing the mother to sit in the therapy with the 2 children during all of their therapy sessions. So she was basing she went from being a regular attorney saying my client should have all of his rights. 5 minutes later, 5 feet over, she was saying this father should not have his rights. That's why an attorney should not be a GAL, because they go from case to case, doing one thing and the other. One other thing before I get into wanting to read the primary part. I'm here for 2 reasons, and they're both pretty much selfish goals. I want to go back to being an integral part of my kids' lives. That's number 1. And number 2, I don't ever want either of my children to have to introduce themselves the way this young lady did earlier today, as the child of parental alienation. That's my 2 goals. In the papers, I don't know if it's because I'm so new. After people are done, you always ask, I've seen a lot of you ask, what exactly did the GAL do? And then people have to rack their brains to think of it. I don't know if it's because I'm so new, or my GAL just has such, I don't know how to pronounce it without saying something bad. She's very bold, and she put it in writing.
Can I ask you a question? Did you send this to us previously about the coach and the emails? Did
Yes.
we? Yeah, because I think I recall reading it.
Okay, well, I'm going to read it out loud because
great.
you have thousands of papers to read after this.
Yeah.
And in human nature being what it is going to blend in.
All right.
I don't want it to blend in. I want you to hear it.
Unfortunately, you're out of time, but we did. I know that we received it earlier, like.
Yes, much earlier.
Yeah, much earlier, and I know that we've all had that forwarded it to us months ago.
Consequently, since that, she has actually included it, and it's in the paper that I gave you today. She included it in the letter she wrote, the official letter she wrote to the psychological evaluator. Okay?
And that's here too?
That is there too.
Thank you.
The psychological evaluator, in his evaluation, which, to be quite honest with you, was completely in my favor, actually used the words that she used, basically describing my behavior at a soccer field. The coach basically took out a thesaurus to say that she lied, saying she did call me to ask questions. She chose to take my answers out of context, misrepresent my opinions, and embellish them for her own purposes. By doing so, she put me in an extremely awkward position, so on and so forth. In fact, she said she would not share this with anyone, another misleading statement. This soccer coach I've been told unless I subpoena him and make him get on the stand, that's just hearsay. And I'm not going to ruin another family and bring another family into our family's problems. The GAL, in my case, has gone above and beyond, out of her way to, for some reason, she woke up the morning, she met me, she didn't like me, and that was it.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Mr. Weissmuller.
What are you getting for an hourly rate on the GAL service here?
I think it's $300 an hour.
Okay. And,
She actually had the nerve to bill me for the interaction with the soccer coach, his wife, who drove all the way to her office to ask her why she made up these lies or whatever the other words the coaches used, and she billed me for the time that the soccer association representative, a lawyer who happens to be a parent in town. I raised my children. I know all the parents in town. So when I saw the names, I asked, why is he on the bill? Why are you on my bill for my GAL? He said he had to send her a letter telling her to back off from the soccer coach, not involve the soccer coach.
Now, do you have a motion pending for access right now?
For access to my children?
Yeah, to your kids.
Oh, there's a standing order that I'm supposed to be seeing them every two hours on Tuesdays and every other weekend for 5 hours.
Is that supervised visitation of some type?
No,
or
it was
just
normal visitation. Everything was put on hold, though, all of a sudden in August when my daughter just decided she didn't want to see me anymore.
But it was only 2 hours and 5 hours.
Yeah, because I was living with my mother at the time, and her house was not suitable for overnights.
I see.
There was no bedroom for the kids to actually stay overnight.
And do you have an attorney now?
I do have an attorney. When I go to him with stuff like this in writing, she was bold enough to put this stuff in writing, not thinking I would turn around and ask I raised my kids. I know all the parents in town. The soccer coach is just a volunteer. So I turned around and asked him, is this what you said? And he said, no, that's not what I said. When I bring the attention of my attorney, he says, just like all the other parents that have said here before, there's really not much you can do about it. The GAL has immunity. They can do whatever they want.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.